Hello, my name is Maribel Perez. I am doing this video for a Counseling Diverse Populations class. Um, I am here with Shindera Jackson. Shindera, or do you want to be called Miss Jackson?
Either.
Okay, Shindera. I'm doing this video for, of course, class purposes. Do you consent to it?
Yes.
Okay. And the only people that will see it is the classroom. So are you okay with that?
Yes.
All right. We've done a couple of these, huh?
Yes.
A little side note, me and her are on this journey together. So she's pursuing her master's right along with me. So, all right. We are here because Miss Jackson seeks services because she has major stressors at her job. Would you like to elaborate on that a little bit, Shindera?
Yes. The job I do now, I work with families, and I work with people inside and outside of the department. And lately, the job for the last, I will say, 2 years has become very stressful. I've applied for different jobs, and do get interviews, but I have not received a call saying that a job offer.
With that being said, we are going to be covering economic concerns and microaggression. I know it seems kind of cliche to use this, but if you've never been in that position where you are qualified, and this is just me speaking just in general terms, not as the counselor, because I know that if I were really counseling somebody like that, I would not be able to say that. But in our book, it talked about privilege that some people are born with, and some have to work a little bit harder to get where they're trying to get to, whether because of the race, religion, things to that nature. So with that being said, we're going to continue with the counseling session.
Okay.
I'm going to, and I'm not a licensed counselor. This is just for class purposes.
Yes.
So, okay, Miss Jackson, you stated that your job has you stressed,
Mm-hmm.
and you have applied for other jobs,
Mm-hmm.
and you get interviews, but you don't get a call back saying you got the job. What makes you feel that there's a little bit of microaggression in this situation when you're applying for other jobs?
Well, all the positions I've applied for, I have the right degree. I have the years of experience. And a lot of the people that has been chosen are people, they don't have the qualifications, and they either friends, it's like who you know, or if you are just not the correct, race they want you to be. So I feel sometimes, I am being looked over because I'm not in a certain group, I'm not a certain race.
Okay. Within the last year, how many jobs have you applied for and not gotten the job?
I think it's been at least maybe 8.
8?
Mm-hmm.
And I understand that with CPS, there are certain qualifications, and things like that before, you guys can get hired. And you said you already had those, right?
Yes.
So aside from your job being stressful already, having to deal with court and all that stuff, is this another stressor that has been stressing you out about why you're seeking employment elsewhere in the same division, or?
Yes. Working as a caseworker, like I say, you're working with families, you're working with the parents, you're working with the kids, you're working with the foster parents, you're working with the relatives, if they're placed with relatives, you're having to outside is like the attorneys, the CPA agency. You have so many people you have to communicate with. You have so many people that have opinions, and some agree, some don't agree with each other. So you can't make everybody happy. At the end of the day, it would be the judge that makes the decisions. And me, I'm just to the point where I've done my years trying to please everybody, working with families, and it's just like since I've been hired with the department, I'm taking better care of somebody else's kid than I am taking care of my own child. And you always got to make sure those kids are safe in a stable environment. So I've done my years. I think I need to focus more on my own children.
So with that being said, the stress is bringing you on looking for other jobs, but in you looking for other jobs, you feel like you're getting looked over because of your race and things to that nature.
Oh, and like with some of the workers, they might, instead of applying from within, they will go and apply outside the agency. I've applied outside the agency at other state agencies. I don't want to leave, not having a job. So it's just different, If you're not, I'm not in the buddy system of being a buddy with someone just to get a job. I believe, your work should be able to get you that job.
Right. With that being said, in the literature that we have for that, like I said, I'm not a licensed counselor, and I wish I could help you through it. You know what I mean? But I think I don't have enough experience to. This is me speaking, from a student standpoint. I would not know how to handle a situation like this because in our literature, it says that, as the counselor, they should try to deter the client from speaking of racism and things like that, or microaggressions, or, whichever term you want to use. So, okay, this is what it was saying. I'm sorry. I saw it and then I lost what I was looking at. It says, because racial microaggressions may occur in the counseling setting itself, it is imperative that counselors prevent this from happening. It is suggested that counselors refrain from behaviors such as communicating verbally or non-verbally that clients complain about racism too much and treating clients of similar backgrounds the same way. Clients will have different responses to discussing race, racism, and white privilege depending on their racial identity status or the counselor's racial identity status. Some clients may not be aware of these constructs, while others may be resistant to discussion based on negative experience that they have had. Dialogue could be particularly difficult between clients of color and counselors who identify as white, no matter what a particular counselor racial identity status is. With that being said, I am of a minority race. So on a personal aspect, I can empathize and sympathize with her because I have been in that position myself. I just don't know yet, since I do not have that experience, how to turn it into a counseling aspect and not see it from my own personal views. But it is said that because intersections of identity exist for people of color, Counselors must be ready to assist clients in determining whether a microaggression experience is related to the race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, socioeconomic status, and so on. So from what you've told me, it is a possibility that, you may be getting overlooked of those jobs because, you're not in the buddy system.
Mm-hmm.
Are there people of color in the buddy system?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. It does want us to find, because me and you can sit and brainstorm on, and make suggestions on what we can do to kind of deter from the microaggression or whatever. But, if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, you've been there your years, you've done what you needed to do, it'd be kind of hard to, now, me barely starting out, to find a suggestion to, get rid of the microaggression, because that's out of your control and my control and things like that, of course. I don't know if you've done videos with me before too, so this is a difficult one, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually we're just
chose a good topic.
Yeah, because usually we're just flowing with it.
Yeah.
But you do have good coping skills. You understand that there's a buddy system. You understand, how the department works or whatever. And you don't get down. You still do your work. You still do, all the things that you're required to do for the safety of the children. So that's a plus. So when you don't get called for those jobs, how do you deal with it?
I just I keep my faith, and I make sure I keep looking daily. I'm looking every day. If I have to miss a day, then I make sure the next day that I'm gonna stay motivated. I'm gonna keep looking until I find me somewhere else to go.
Right. And on that side, this is a side note, when she stated that she keeps her faith and she keeps looking, that would be a good kind of icebreaker, if I were doing fully Christian counseling, to start incorporating, faith and, Christ and everything that we're learning through this program. And again, I don't have the experience for this yet, so I wouldn't know how to do that, like when she said faith, but I do know that would be a good icebreaker to start, for us to talk about her faith and, how her faith could lead her to that right job that's meant for her and, things like that. But the issue is, how do I do that from... I wouldn't have the words, I guess. I don't know. It's hard for me to explain, because I know it's there. It's in my head and my heart, but I don't know how to execute it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So, I don't know. Like I said, we usually flow right along, but this was a harder topic than I anticipated it to be. So with that being said, guys, Shindera, thank you so much, and I'm pretty sure I'll see you whenever we have another video.
Yes. Our next topic.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, all of y'all. Feedback is greatly appreciated. Thanks, y'all.
Now, all these videos that we post up here,